welcome to another episode of the Chaos Chronicles.
Navigating the randomness.
I'm Jess.
I'm Connie.
And today, Connie's taking the wheel over here. No idea what we're talking about, other than it's going to be confusing.
Very. You're going to have questions. Before we get too deep into things, two things real quick. One, our social media. You can find us at YouTube, TikTok, Spotify, and Instagram. The handle for all four is at Chaos Chronicles Podcast. Chronicles with an S. We very much appreciate a like and subscribe. Also, there's a little bit of a trigger warning for today. It's not as gory as some of the other things we've talked about, but we're definitely going to be talking about some very adult themes here, including some violence and pornography. So fair warning, if you have small children, maybe put headphones in.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. Yep. On that note, let's set the stage. 1992, New York.
Okay.
So back in 1992, it was a very different world. A couple of highlights from that year. That was actually when the Mall of America was built in Minnesota.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Why did I think that it was built before then?
I did too.
I was thinking like 70s for some reason.
1992, and apparently big story. Some other big things. Windows 3.1 was released.
Oh,
yeah. 3.1. What are we on now? Like 15 or something?
I don't even have a guess.
I don't either. I only know is it boots up on my work computer when it is the least helpful. So that's fun. Yeah. The first nicotine patch was introduced to help with quitting smoking.
Oh.
DNA fingerprinting was invented and put into place.
Seriously? That took so long.
I know. I had to put that in there. I was like, we've talked about so much true crime, but it's insane that didn't really start until 1992.
Well, and like that's been a big theme of most of our true crime stuff, like Black Dahlia or I can't even think of his name, the
Zodiac
Killer. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I was thinking Black Dahlia when I saw that.
Yeah, and that didn't even exist I mean obviously not the Black Dahlia, but I thought that we would be close by the time we get to Zodiac, but Zodiac was 69 and 70.
Yeah. No, 92.
So that's like another 22 years.
That's right. I know.
Holy crap.
Like, that's what I'm just setting the scene that this is the world that we're looking at.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. Also, a couple other fun facts. That was the year that Prince Charles and Princess Diana separated. Love to do an episode on them. Space Shuttle Endeavour takes its maiden journey to space from Florida. Cartoon Network is established, and the first McDonald's is opened in Beijing, China. A completely
Cartoon Network?
Yeah. 1992.
Again, I knew it was early 90s, so I guess that 92 is early 90s. My brain's just like, I thought it was before then. No, early 90s.
90s. It just felt like a different time.
Yeah.
And it also, with the case we're going to talk about today, this is also a formative point that now we will think of this as more normal, but at the time, this was kind of the first. So, have you heard of the Long Island Lolita? No? Okay. So, Tuesday, May 19th, 1992, in Massapequa, New York. I hope I said that right.
That's an interesting city. Also, if you guys haven't figured out, we do not say names well. We take our best guess and kind of go with it. So I'm sorry if we're offending you. We would love to know the actual pronunciation. So if you want to throw the phonetic spelling down below, we would really appreciate that.
Yes, please. I'm trying here.
Yeah.
So Massapequa, New York. So 17-year-old Amy Fisher knocks on the door of a then 37-year-old Mary Jo Buttafuoco. And when Mary Jo answers, Fisher tells her that her little sister, Fisher's little sister, has been having an affair with Mary Jo's husband, Joey Buttafuoco, age 38.
Do we know how old sister is?
There is no actual sister. So this is where reports are a little conflicting, where some say that Amy told Mary Jo that she was having the affair. Other reports, Amy said that, no, I said that my little sister was, but I don't actually have a little sister.
Either way, teenager, 38
17-year-old with a 38-year-old.
That's 21 years apart too. And later on in life, sure, whatever you want to do, but like teenager and you're almost 40?
Yep.
That's disgusting.
Oh, yeah. Oh, doesn't get better. Does not get better.
Yay.
Yep.
Love that.
Yep. So Mary Jo takes this as, I mean, how else would you take it as basically a child is knocking on your door saying, hey, I'm sleeping with your husband, or my sister's sleeping with your husband.
Yeah.
And Mary Jo tries to deny it, but Fisher shows a t-shirt that she said Joey gave to her, and it's got his business on it because he was a repair shop owner. So she showed this as proof. They argued for about 15 minutes before Mary Jo said, you want to get lost, basically. And she turns around to go call Joey. And when she does, Fisher takes a .25 caliber handgun out of her bag.
Wait, who? Sorry, I missed that.
Fisher, Amy Fisher, the 17-year-old.
What the? Okay.
Uh-huh. So I'm just going to call her Fisher. Fisher takes the .25 caliber handgun out of her bag, strikes Mary Jo twice, and shoots her in the head before dropping the handgun and the t-shirt and running to the getaway car that was being driven by a Peter Gugenti. Yep. A 37-year-old, I believe, auto salesperson.
Okay. First off, what the heck? Second off, how does this girl know so many 30-year-olds? What? What? What just happened?
Oh yeah. Fisher has some moment of clarity, and she actually runs back and she grabs the handgun and the t-shirt.
Oh, she was just gonna leave it there?
Yeah, she dropped it after shooting Mary Jo and ran to the getaway car driven by Peter. And then she comes back, grabs the t-shirt and the handgun, and then goes and they flee. Neighbors hear the shots and they call 911.
Yeah, good.
Yes.
Good job, neighbors.
Good job, neighbors. If you hear something, call 911.
Yes.
So the crazy part, Mary Jo survived that shooting.
There are some weird, and I've heard it happening, I think twice of all my years in EMS. Like, some people miraculously survive gunshot wounds to the head. It's very rare, and it has to be like that 1 in a million shot, right, perfectly aligned, like right down the middle sometimes, or just like,
oh yeah,
wow.
Well, she survived, but
she comatose.
Nope.
Oh,
she permanently was paralyzed on part of her face, and then she lost hearing in her left ear.
Of all the things that could happen, that is pretty darn good.
Yeah. I mean, it's not great, but
you're
like
still alive and you can function.
Yeah, the alternative is death or vegetative state.
Yeah.
So while Mary's in surgery, Mary Jo, she's in surgery all night, and they weren't actually able to remove the bullet because of where it was lodged. But while that's happening, police talk to Joey, and Joey goes, I think it might be this girl, Amy Fisher. She's crazy. I think she's jealous. There's nothing going on, but I think it might be her.
She making all this stuff up? No. Okay, cool.
No. No. From reports, Amy Fisher was... Mary Jo calls her a prostitute later, but she was out having fun.
Okay.
We're going to call it that. For money.
Yeah.
So Mary Jo comes out of surgery. Police show her a picture of Fisher, and she says, yeah, this is who did this to me. So cops go out and they arrest Fisher. So while Fisher was in custody, it came out that she and Joey were having an affair. And Fisher got jealous of Joey's wife, Mary Jo, which is why she went and tried to kill her. So initially, Fisher was charged with first-degree murder, but because she didn't actually kill Mary Jo, it was dropped down to first-degree aggravated assault. But now, because I'm talking about these new big changes, 1992,
right.
This case was grabbed by the media, and Fisher was called the Long Island Lolita. Do you know what a Lolita is?
I don't know.
I really hate that this is a thing.
Uh-oh.
I pulled it right from the dictionary. Lolita is defined as a pubescent girl who is sexually precocious or who is regarded in sexual terms by an older person.
The fact that we have to have a term for that.
Oh, honey, we could get into the history of that, and let's just say it's bad. Yeah, but so this becomes a sensationalized story, and this really becomes the first tabloid piece where all of a sudden it's not just like the little alien stories. Now this is everywhere. This is people are clamoring over each other to get stories about who knew Amy Fisher, who knew Mary Jo, what's the real story. The clickbait that we see now, it all started with this. So it could have been a lot different if Joey wasn't a dick and Fisher wasn't psychotic.
Yeah. Also, no, never mind. Not going to get into it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, just wait. We're going to get into a lot of what the what moments here.
Lovely.
Oh, yeah. So the trial is going.
Okay.
And Fisher did end up pleading guilty to that first-degree aggravated assault.
I thought you were going to say innocent by reason of insanity.
No. She pleaded guilty to that, or to the first-degree aggravated assault.
Good.
But a couple hours before agreeing to the plea, a video came out in the tabloids and like the news stories where it's Fisher talking to Paul Makeley, the owner of a local gym in Massapequa, who was, I believe, 37 years old. She has a thing for men in their 30s.
That's just,
And on tape, Fisher and Paul are talking about Fisher's future and how she wanted to marry him so he could visit her in prison. And on that subject, Fisher said her lawyer believed requiring people to be married for such visits was unconstitutional and that he intended to challenge the law on this matter. Fisher then stated that challenging the law, that will keep my name in the press. I want my name in the press. Why? Because I can make a lot of money. I figure if I'm going through all this pain and suffering, I'm getting a Ferrari.
I have no words right now. What? Okay. This is taking a strange turn that I did not expect, but you did tell me that it's going to be a lot of what the fuck moments.
Yep. Yeah. No, we're not done with those yet. There's plenty
coming. There's going to be a lot more coming.
Yeah. So that came out, and again, a couple hours before she agreed to the plea, and she being Fisher, received a 5 to 15 year sentence in prison.
Only? What?
Yeah.
Oh, because I guess it was an aggravated assault charge. Yep. That should have been an attempted murder charge. I'm sorry. You shoot someone anywhere. I don't care. But, like, this was her head.
And it was intent.
Yeah.
And that's the difference between, well, technically it wasn't murder, but attempted murder, aggravated assault.
Yeah.
And I don't know New York law well enough to really parse it down there. There's questions about the trial later, don't worry.
Okay, good, because what the heck? How did she get off on... She got off so easy. Oh, I guess she is 17, though, too.
She is 17.
Forgot about that part.
She is 17. And at the time of the trial, Joey Buttafuoco, he wasn't being charged with anything initially, but after the trial, because the trial took place in the later half of 92, and then in February of 93, Joey Buttafuoco was charged with statutory rape because Fisher said that he raped her. That's what she claimed. And originally, Joey denied it, but then the court obtained proof in the form of receipts for motels signed in Joey's name, and I believe it was witness statements putting him and Fisher into these motels multiple times. So he pled on that. He got a 6-month jail sentence. We'll talk more on that later. But before we get too far away, just as part of the trial, while it was happening, Mary Jo called Fisher a prostitute, and according to sources, Mary Jo thought her husband was blameless in the incident.
Your husband had an affair, not only an affair with a 17-year-old girl. How was he blameless? He's paying for all these motel rooms, and this circles back to red flags. Red flags are everywhere. When they show you red flags, run.
Oh, we're not done yet.
Oh gosh. No.
With some more red flags, I just had to do some quick digging because I'm like, when did the affair start? That's what I'm curious
honestly,
about.
Yeah. How long has it been going on? Please tell me. Hopefully it's not like a 12-year-old.
Not 12.
Okay. Well,
not much better, though.
Oh, gosh. 13?
A little bit older. So when Fisher was about 15, 16, she went with her dad to Joey's car repair shop because her dad's car had to have repairs. And that's where they first met each other. And then Fisher, she purposely damaged her car several times after that just so she could go see Joey at the shop. Yeah. So Joey would have been 35 when he met then 15, 16-year-old Fisher.
Do we know if she's the only one?
I did some digging on Joey. Let's just say not the greatest human being in the world.
Shocking. I'm thoroughly shocked.
Oh, yeah. We'll talk more about him a little bit later. But yeah, I'm not going to spoil it yet. We'll get there. So let's see. We talked about... Okay, so Fisher went to prison. And while she was there, this was a little bit of a trigger warning. We are going to talk about assault here. Fisher stated that she had been raped by the prison guards, and she filed a $220 million lawsuit against the state. However, the judge who received the complaint said that it read like a cheap dime store novel and threw it out. So it may not have happened. May have the courts didn't proceed with a actual trial on it.
Wow.
So
okay,
that's the little backstory there. Fisher claimed her defense attorney, who she was also having an affair with at the time of the trial.
Okay. This girl, calm down.
Oh, just wait.
No.
Yeah. So she said that her defense attorney coerced her into pleading guilty. So she's in prison and she appeals for basically a revision of her sentence. And the judge who heard that, he did agree that she hadn't been appropriately represented by her lawyer at the time of her 1992 guilty plea. So this is now 7 years into her sentence. Okay. And the judge says, I'm going to drop your max sentence from 15 years to 10 years. And by doing that, that would automatically qualify Fisher for parole. And what's interesting is that Mary Jo Buttafuoco was swayed by Fisher and eventually helped Fisher get out of prison and was actually part of helping her get paroled. Yeah. The one that the Fisher shot Mary Jo, and Mary Jo helped her get out of prison 7 years later. Yep, Fisher had taken anger management courses in jail and had wrote a letter to apologize to Mary Jo. And that's how they had started connecting.
I'm sorry. Words can't even come out of my mouth right now. If someone tries to kill you, I mean, like, why would you help them?
Girl,
what is happening right now?
I told you you're going to have a lot of questions in this. How do you think I was feeling as I'm researching this last night and I'm shouting my questions to my husband? He's like, what the hell are you looking up? I'm like, don't worry about it. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. What?
I know.
Oh, okay. We're just
girl, we're not going. Even at the tip of the iceberg yet.
What do you mean?
Just wait. So, I'm going to talk about the after jail periods of Fisher, Joey, and Mary Jo separately so we can really look at them. But let's start with Fisher because this is going to be a roller coaster. This is where we're going to get into more adult themes here, folks. So, Fisher was released on parole in May 1999 after serving, like I said, almost 7 years. Her case was so sensationalized by the tabloids that actually several movies were made based on it. Most notably was the Amy Fisher story starring Drew Barrymore. Casualties of Love, the Long Island Lolita story with Alyssa Milano, which apparently that one was written more with Joey Buttafuoco's input. So Fisher is this very seductress. That's too strong of a. He kind of paints her as a slut.
Yeah.
Don't like that word. I can't think of anything else right now. And then Amy Fisher, My Story with Noelle Parker, which is a little bit more from Amy Fisher's side.
Gotcha.
Fisher then worked as a columnist for the Long Island Press. And in 2003, she married Lou Bellera, an event photographer about 25 years older than her.
Yeah, I was about to say, how old did she end up with?
Yeah. She and Lou had 3 kids, actually.
Okay.
In 2004, she released a memoir, If I Knew Then, which became a New York Times bestseller.
I'm sorry, I don't even know if I want to read that book.
I don't think I do. I don't.
No. There have been many times in these episodes where I'm like, I would love to read this book. This just kind of gives me the heebie-jeebies thinking about she wrote a book that is a bestseller. She's an attempted murderer. Like, I don't need to read this book.
Yeah. People tend to forget the murder part. They just see the sensational celebrityness of it, which is its own thing to unpack. In 2007, Fisher went into the adult film industry. And just good parkour.
Because why not?
Why not? This was actually during a brief split from her husband, Lou, and during that time, she got back together with Joey Buttafuoco.
Come on.
Yep. And at that time, Joey, Amy, and Mary, I don't know how much Mary Jo was actually involved, but they pitched a reality show to TV networks. But while they were in the midst of that, Lou, Fisher's estranged husband, sold a sex tape he and Fisher made to a distribution company in an attempt to hop on the train of celebrity sex tapes that were being released, like Pamela Anderson, Paris Hilton, and Kim Kardashian.
I have no words. I'm sorry, guys. I have no words right now.
It's not going to get better. Fisher originally fought the release of the tape, but eventually started promoting it instead. In 2008, Fisher promoted the tape on The Howard Stern Show. Have you heard of that show?
Mm-mm.
Don't watch it. It is...
I don't watch TV anyways.
Howard Stern is a character, and he does interview porn stars a lot. It is definitely a... Never let your children watch it.
Ugh.
Yeah. So Fisher's on The Howard Stern Show, and she's promoting the... There we go. She's promoting the tape, but she was only on the show for 6 minutes because they were taking call-ins, and her daughter, Jessica, called into the interview. So her daughter at this time is less than 10 years old and called into the show.
Oh my... okay. All right. What did she say?
I didn't get that part.
Okay.
Because this was while I was like diving deep, and then it was like 11 o'clock and I had to go to bed. But yeah, she got up and left the show when her daughter called in.
Yeah.
Yep. In 2009, Fisher put out a pay-per-view film titled Amy Fisher, Totally Nude and Exposed. Yep. She stated that, I always wanted to be number one at something, but I didn't think it would be something like this. Oh, just wait. We got more quotes coming. She toured the country as a stripper while promoting the film and declared, and I quote, I love to dance, and I'm an exhibitionist. I'm going to take this road until my fans tell me, dear, please put your clothes back on. You're too old.
Do we know what age she is at this point? Or roughly?
At this point, she's roughly, I think she's going to be late 20s, early 30s.
Okay.
I believe. Yeah, late 20s, early 30s, because she was 17 in 92. Yeah. So. Or actually like mid 30s, yeah.
This girl is messed up.
Oh, just wait. She signed a contract for several more films, including Deep Inside Amy Fisher and Seduced by a Cougar 22. Which I don't know if that means there's 21 other Seduced by Cougars, and I did not want to look into it and find out.
I would not want to. I don't want to look that up.
I did. I'm like, I don't want that in my Google algorithm. I
No.
don't.
Also, we're going to get a lot of weird advertisements.
I don't need that. I'm not explaining that to my husband. Nope. Oh,
It was research for a podcast, I promise.
it's only as half as weird as you think.
Oh my gosh.
Oh God. Oh, where are we? So still 2009, Fisher appeared on the show Celebrity Rehab, which I guess was a series episodes. And it kind of was very MTV like.
Gotcha.
And she stated on the show, I need employment. No one else will give me employment. I just go with it. I don't know what else to do. So like, it's kind of sad. But again, she's also an attempted murderer.
I was about to throw that out there. Be like, is it sad though? Because you did try to kill someone.
An innocent woman. Yeah.
Yeah. That literally did nothing to you. You're the one that came in and started messing with her man. So if anything, she should come after you.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah. Oh, let's see. So that was 2009. In 2011, Fisher stopped making films but stated she would be open to offers in the future. She credited getting sober with not wanting to continue in the adult film industry. In 2015, she and Lou Bellera they had still been married through all this, officially divorced, and now she's been popping up on several porn sites doing webcam work. And I had to throw this weird thing in here real quick.
Mm-hmm.
On August 21st, 2016, shortly before Fisher's birthday, she posted a link to her Amazon wish list on Twitter, and items included things like a $700 beverage cooler, a $20 iPad case, and a $100 gift card from Outback Steakhouse.
So just random crap.
Yeah, but the thing is, people are buying it for her. Apparently, this is a known thing where adult film entertainers will post their wish list, or they'll just ask for stuff, and people on the internet will buy it and send it to them. And so Twitter at the time, now X, they've actually had to take down these posts and like block these users because it's considered, I think it's badgering or battering. There's a legal term for it. Basically, no bueno. Yeah. So it was just a random thing.
All right.
In 2017, Fisher moved from Florida back to her mother's house in New York. At that time, she was doing pay-by-the-minute cam work, $10 a minute, apparently. And when her ex-husband, Lou Bellera, suggested she do more normal work, Fisher replied, and I quote, "No, I'm spoiled, and there's too much money to be made." Fisher is still a webcam model today in 2024.
How old is she now? When was she born? I mean, she was 17 in 92, did you say?
Yeah.
So she is currently 49 and still all right.
Yep.
I mean, good for her for being able to be in. You know what? I can't even finish that sentence.
I was gonna say, can we?
No, I can't finish that. I tried to be nice. I can't do it.
No, not judging the sex work part, judging that you're an attempted murderer.
Yeah, and and her choices and men, and just it gives me icky feelings. I
didn't go too much into this part because this borders into like where we start potentially talking CPS, Child Protective Services.
Yeah.
Her kids are at the home with her and her mother, or at least they were when she was doing a lot of the cam work. Yeah.
That is something that your children should not be involved with.
Yep. Oh, yes. So that was Fisher. Now let's talk about Joey.
All right.
So, as I mentioned before, in February of 93, Joey was charged with statutory rape because Fisher was 17 at the time of their affair, and she had, claimed rape. So he was sentenced to 6 months. He only served 4. And when he got out, I don't understand this, but he and Mary Jo stayed together for several years.
I would no, never. No. But you said several years. Did they eventually split?
In 2003, they divorced. So 11 years after the incident.
That took way too long.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we'll talk about Mary.
Mary. You should have left him a lot sooner than you did.
Yeah. Sorry, Mary Jo.
Mary Jo.
The two name folks really like having the two names.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
Mary Jo. Joey had several additional run-ins with the law, shocker, after being released, including a charge in 1995 for solicitation of prostitution and 1 year in jail in 2004 for auto insurance fraud. Joey then served time in jail again in 2007 for 3 months due to illegal possession of ammunition. He makes wonderful decisions.
Yeah, this is what I'm hearing is this is a great guy.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
What a catch.
Oh, yeah. And that 2007, when he had that 3 months in jail, that was the same time that he and Fisher had rekindled their little romance. But today, Joey is still married to his current wife, Ivanka. I don't know when they got married. I tried to do some digging, but yeah. So that was Joey. And then Mary Jo.
Yes.
So Mary Jo, like we said, she had several surgeries in the years following the shooting because of that permanent facial paralysis, the loss of hearing in her left ear. Mary Jo actually wrote a book about the incident, and she had some humor about it because she titled it "Getting It Through My Thick Skull."
Okay, of the books in this episode, I might take a look at that one.
Yep. I love that. That is my type of humor right there.
Good job, Mary Jo. Good choice.
Good job, Mary Jo.
Good job.
She is great. And in that book, okay, so this was what I was leading up to earlier. In the book, she refers to her ex-husband, Joey Buttafuoco, as a sociopath. Are we surprised?
No.
Exactly. Yeah, she didn't have nice things to say about him.
Shocking. Well, I'm glad. I mean, it did take them 11 years to divorce, but like, I'm glad she eventually got there.
I'm glad she got out there safe.
Yeah.
Well, relatively.
Kind
in comparison.
of.
But yeah, from what
she made it out alive.
She made it out alive. And from what I picked up on, it doesn't sound like it was, obviously it wasn't a healthy marriage. But it sounds like there's a lot more layers where I think there's probably some overlap with the stuff we talked about in the Toxic episode, which if you haven't seen it, check it out. It's called You're Not Brittany, Toxic Isn't Cute. Yes. Let's see. So Mary Jo and Fisher actually reunited in episodes broadcast by Entertainment Tonight and The Insider. And I forgot to write down the year that was. Fisher stated that she wanted to heal and move on with her life. But then only 2 years later, she said she felt, and I quote, no sympathy for Mary Jo and refused to provide an explanation.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
You tried to kill her.
Mary Jo forgave you after you wrote a letter of forgiveness. Mary Jo helped you get parole. Mary Jo was kind enough to meet up with you for this television series so you could get money, she could get money. And now you're saying you have no sympathy for her?
What is wrong with you?
I mean, obviously there's a lot we don't know, but
yeah,
like,
I guess, but like,
what?
She did so much for this girl and she tried to kill her. What do you mean you have no sympathy for her?
She did all this after she tried to kill her. The after part is the big thing there.
I know, yeah.
Like, Mary Jo, you saint. Oh,
gosh, what the heck?
I know. It does end on a happier note. In 2012, Mary Jo married a print shop owner, Stu Tendler, in Las Vegas.
Oh,
I didn't find much more about Mary Jo after that, but I believe she's probably wanted to keep some of it private. So I'm like, I'm not going to dig too much.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Good for her. I hope that it's a happy, healthy marriage because she deserves to be happy after all she went through.
Oh my God, yes.
Oh my gosh. And it just proves that, I mean, obviously I don't know her, but like with her helping her, the person that tried to murder her, like she must be an amazing person.
Oh, she's a better person than I am.
Yeah, I would. Yeah. I don't know of anybody that would try to help the person that tried to murder them.
I know of one. My boss.
That's
literally the only one, and that's because she's literally stopped her car for people on the side of the road. Like and I mean like homeless people.
Yeah.
So she's a true Christian saint, but other than her, I can't think of anyone else that would do that. But yeah, so that is the story of the Long Island Lolita. Final thoughts, questions, concerns, comments?
A lot of questions, a lot of concerns. What just happened in the past 40 minutes?
I told you you're going to have questions.
I just... It's more of like a, what the heck just happened?
I know.
Oh my gosh.
And remember when the biggest part of this episode was DNA fingerprinting was invented in 92? Yeah, here we are. Yeah.
Wow.
I know.
This just like, I still can't get over the fact that Mary Jo helped her after Fisher tried to murder her. I just
shot her in the head. You know she's got headaches and pain for the rest of her life.
Oh yeah, and we don't even know. I mean, we don't know if she has like left side paralysis, like if she has problems walking, eating, swallowing. Like there's so much that I know you said that she had left side paralysis on her face and then the hearing loss. But if that's all she got, that's pretty darn lucky because like
still awful, but
awful, obviously awful, but like I mean, you see people come in with strokes, and this is like the closest thing that I can relate it to because not a lot of people survive bullet wounds to the head.
Straight to the head,
yeah. But it's like a lot of these people that survive strokes, they have to, be rehabilitated to walk again. They have to learn how to talk again, how to eat, how to drink. Some of them have to have like thickened water in order to drink. Otherwise they choke. And it's just...
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, she and then she still goes and helps her. I can't get over that.
I know. So you can kind of see how this became the sensationalized piece that it was.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, where it seems like my own personal take on just the research that I've gone through on this, it's like everyone is glazing over the fact that Fisher was an attempted murderer.
They are.
And it's just like, ooh, it's a bleeds lead and sex sells, and this has both of those. Yeah. And it's just insane to me because I'm like, yeah, she was 17, and you want to give grace to a 17-year-old making a poor decision, but like this is a really poor decision.
It's I can't overlook the fact that she tried to kill somebody. And I mean, a bullet to the head, that means business. I'm sorry. Most people do not survive that.
I would honestly argue for overkill because she struck Mary Jo twice before shooting her.
Yeah, this is not TV. This is not a drama. This is real life.
Real violence.
And I think people are just forgetting that because, it's common on TV or books that you read now that, I did it for love and blah, 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 and it's redeeming or whatever.
Look.
Yeah, at the end of the day, this is real life, and she tried to kill someone.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And let's just appreciate now, in our series, the number 17 is popping up a lot.
It is.
It is. We have 17-year-old Joan of Arc.
Yep.
We've got 17-year-old Amy Fisher and fictional character 17-year-old Bella Swan from Twilight. You cannot get more different than the three of those. All of them 17, two of which being real people, Amy Fisher and Joan of Arc.
Yeah.
You could not get further apart in those two characters. You could not.
Oh my gosh, no. Jeez. What a vast difference.
No kidding. Religious, pious, devoted to God. Not.
Really not.
Really not. I'm not saving virginity. I'm trying to find like a nice way to put that.
There's not a nice way to put
There isn't a nice way
to not for this person.
Yeah, killing for France, killing for Joey.
Killing for a guy that is how many years? 22 years older than when you're a teenager.
Yeah, no. Or like 18. I think it's like, hold up, she was 15 and he was 35. 25, so like 20 years. Yeah.
Oh, 20 years.
Yeah. Either way, no.
That is not okay. Even we were talking, I don't remember what episode this was, but we were talking in some episode about how like the age difference between like a 15-year-old and an 18-year-old are
The mental difference
yeah,
is
the mental
massive.
difference. Yeah. So if that is massive and, you know, let's be honest, it's kind of looked down on quite a bit. I'm not saying one way or another, just leave me out of that. But like a lot of people look down on that age difference because of how different they are mentally. You just throw a 20-year jump. I don't care how mature you think you are.
It's a predator. You're being groomed. You're
Yep.
not mature. He's a loser.
Yeah.
Women his age rejected him.
I mean, he was married.
He wasn't. Well, we all know that even though some folks are married, it doesn't mean they're a good person.
Yeah, no.
That's all we'll say on that. But I know everyone watching is agreeing, and someone popped in your head. Not you don't have to say
Probably,
who,
yeah.
but you know.
Oh gosh. All right. Well, let us know what your thoughts are on this what the fuck episode.
Yeah, I didn't. I told you we were going to talk about adult themes, and like, oh girl, I censored it. Like, I didn't want to start going into the other names of some of the films that she did. Where I'm like, I'm
not saying this on the internet.
I'm like, I'm not saying this on the internet.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I have definitely never heard of this one before. Thanks for sticking around this far. I know it's always weird to plug our socials at the end. With every episode, it's getting weirder and weirder to be like, so you can find us on TikTok, YouTube, Spotify, and Instagram, all at Chaos Chronicles Podcast. We post every Wednesday and Saturday, so definitely check us out. I apologize. My brain is scrambled. I don't know.
Yeah. Like, this is the internet. Which also, a quick shout out to my boss's mom. She is the one who actually told me about this, where it was so funny. She came in for my boss's birthday this week, and I was like, oh yeah, my friend and I are doing a podcast, and like, any ideas for true crime stuff? And she gave me a list. But when she brought up, she goes, hey, do you know about the Long Island Lolita? My coworker, Michelle, she ran out from her office. She goes, yeah, Joey Buttafuoco. And I'm like, oh my God, this is well known. And I guess I just didn't know about it.
There are so many things that are like well known, and I just never heard about it.
Never heard about it. So thank you, Kim.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate all the what the fuck.
She gave me several more what the fuck ones. We'll do episodes on them.
I know. I saw the list. I'm not looking them up, but like we have like a shared notes where we just throw ideas in, and I saw her update, and I go in and I'm like, wow, that's a big list.
It's a big. I'm so glad no one walked into the office as we're having that conversation. I'm like, tell me more murder, gore, death, violence, revenge,
all of the above.
Yeah, just a normal day at work.
Yeah.
On that note, like Jess said, you can find us on our social media, so we would really appreciate a like and subscribe. Otherwise, anything else or sign off here?
I think we're good to sign off.
Perfect.
All right. Well, thanks for watching.
See you guys next week.
Bye.
Oh my God. I'm so glad we got to do this one.